Today, we will learn how to install a web server and how to configure HTTPS access on it. So coming on to the first slide, that is what we require for this thing. We need a machine running Linux software. We need open source web server softwares, and the most popular one are nginx and Apache. I will be using nginx for my demonstration. Then we need a certificate for our nginx server, and also we need private key for that, and that certificate has to be signed by a CA, so we need the CA certificate which has signed this server certificate. So coming on to the next slide, that how to install this web server. So in order to install, we need to open the terminal and just execute apt install nginx command, and it will automatically install and configure the server. So just to see whether web server is working properly or not, we can execute service nginx status command. At this moment, we should be able to access our web server by simply typing localhost in our web client. However, at this time, we will not be able to access using HTTPS. So in order to access the web server using HTTPS, we need to configure it. So we need to go to the etc nginx directory, which contains the configuration files. So first thing which we will do, we will create a certs directory over there, and this is the directory in which we will copy over server certificate and key which has been signed by an external CA. And then the next thing which we need to do is we need to add, normally all the configuration for over nginx server are done using server blocks. So we will just add a server block in our default file which will be listening for HTTPS request. So that server block will consist of few lines. It is listening at 443. In my demonstration demo, you will see it will be listening at 4433 port number, because I am using this port for another purpose. Then server name is localhost, and these two lines are very important. This web server needs a certificate, server certificate, and its key in order to establish HTTPS connection. So these lines are telling where those things are located. So SSL certificate tells us that it is located, cert is located in certs directory under etc nginx, and key, that is server key, is located and again located under certs directory. And the last two lines are basically telling the page which needs to be displayed if everything works fine. Okay, now moving on to our demonstration. So first of all, we will see whether our server is working fine or not. We'll execute service nginx status, and we can see it is active and running. So let's go and try to access the servers. We can see that welcome page is there, and it is basically running it on port 90 because I have configured port 90. So let's try to access the servers using HTTPS. So currently we cannot access this. So let's go back and open the default file which is available under sites enabled, and we want to add that block as I already mentioned. So my block is listing on 4433, and server name is this, and rest of the things which we have already discussed. So we will copy and paste it here. We have added this block to our default file. Important thing is, whenever we have done this thing, we need to restart the service. So we will stop the server and we will again start the server. You can see the status, whether it is working or not. So we can see it is working. Okay, let's try to access the server using HTTPS now. Okay, over here we are getting this warning because I have not installed CA certificate in my web browser. So if I have installed this certificate, I will not get